Hey guys, you know what time it is? Time to create another playset. Stay tuned. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is Paul Knapp coming to you once again from the man cave, and it's time to create another World War II 1/32 scale playset. This time I'm going to reuse a box, a Conte playset box from the early 2000s, and add my own stuff to it. So let's go. So as you can see here, this is one of the very first playsets that Richard Conte put together, The Longest Day. He actually reused this box several times for, I want to say 6 or 7 different playsets that he did for The Longest Day, D-Day sets. I only had one of his playsets brand new, and I will show that in a later video. But this one, I'm just going to reuse this box because I hate to get rid of these boxes. They're so nice. I mean, if you've never had one, and they're definitely deep, so you can keep a lot of stuff in it, especially the foam buildings. A lot of these foam buildings, as you can see, came with some of the sets. But we're going to be doing a Conte review in the near future on all the play sets that he made for D-Day. But right now, I'm just going to reuse this box. And as you can see, I already started putting my stuff in that I want to be included in this playset. So we're going to break this out and see what needs to be painted or repainted and go from there. So before we take a look at the playset itself, let's take a look at this mat. Now, this was suggested to me by my friend Scott Page from 3.75 Deep Dive. He had it on his show, and this is just a vinyl play mat that you can get on Amazon for about $40-some. Now, normally when you see some of these play mats, they have like hexagons on them or squares on them for gamers, but this one, and that's what I liked about it, it's just sort of a cobblestone, and it was 6 foot long, which was perfect for my table. It actually has it's much wider, so I could put 2 tables there possibly, but for this diorama, I'm only going to need 6 foot table, I believe, and this worked out perfect. Thank you, Scott. Okay, so as of right now, this is what I've pulled from my collection to create this next playset, the City diorama playset. I've already pulled all my 3D printed figures from different companies. I think I'm going to add a Marx raft. This, of course, is some accessories from Marx, as well as a cemetery. We have some 3D printed Germans. We have Airfix Germans reissue in blue that I have to paint. We have the Airfix bridge. We have some Marx reissue fence. I'm going to add the Riesler green GIs to this set. I have some 3D printed sand bags. I also have some concertina wire here. This is a foam piece. It's very similar to the original Marx piece, but it is foam. I believe Atherton Scenics makes that. And of course, my brand new bunker that I just received, and I did a video on that for you guys. So check it out. Got this other little bunker that I received years ago from Nick at TSSD when I went to visit him one time, and I've always wanted to put it in a playset. I thought it'd be cool to add it to this one. So, and then of course we have the 2 tanks that I painted. These are the 1/32 scale ones that I did a video on. We have 3 CTS German tanks, need some repairs and need painted. Finally, we have 4 foam buildings. Now, that shows you how big this box is. We have a hobby bunker piece here that I have to paint yet. And we have 3 Atherton Scenics destroyed houses, buildings. And you can see how they fit in. They're all different. So that fits. I'm going to have 4 large buildings. Some rubble piles also from Atherton Scenics I'm going to add. And then finally, like I said, we're going to go through this and see how it turns out. So the first thing I've been thinking about that I need to do is cut these bases down. Now, this is the brand new one I got. I have to paint from Hobby Bunker. You can see, get you a close up, how high that curb is. I mean, if that's a curb to step off of the street, it's almost to this guy's knee. So I might need to trim that one down a little bit. But take a look at these ones from Atherton Scenics. I mean, my gosh. Are you serious? Like, you'd have to jump to get up onto those. So all those are going to have to cut down. That's the same one here. It's going to have to be cut down. This one's beveled a little bit, so this one might get by. It's probably not a bad idea to go with that and bevel them all. But if we're talking like a curb, definitely got to trim probably 2 of those down for sure. So that's going to be my first project, is putting that through a bandsaw probably and just ripping it. And then painting this large one here. Okay, so I've been working on this for about a good week now, week and a half. As you can see, I got a lot of things painted. All the figures I believe that I'm going to put to this set are painted. I pulled out some Marks accessories and some BMC accessories. I have my mat ready, and I ordered another green mat. I wanted to go a little wider with this and put some grass area on this side. And I'm probably going to have to come up with some type of way to do a waterway in between here, since I have the bridge, and I also have the pontoon bridge. I painted the tanks here, as you can see, and what I did with my tank commanders, well, instead of drilling a hole in the top of the tank, just cut his legs off. I know he's sticking out a little higher than he should, but I think it looks better than not having a driver in there at all. Pulled out some old MPC tents, because I saw I have a lot of medical stretchers and things like that. So we're going to have a tent for them in the fields. And I pulled out, well, some concertina wire that I painted silver, and I painted all my sandbags. It's coming together here. I know people are going to ask where I got that building. That's actually a Atherton Scenics building, but I took some of the BMC sandbags and I cut them in half and I wedged them in there. I thought that looked pretty good, actually. So a little smaller than they should be, but what the heck, I hate to not use them. Last thing I got to do really is get this big boy painted here. That is a giant building from Hobby Bunker. So it came gray primed. That's my next large step, I believe. I'm also going to put some type of black wash on the bridge, as well as some type of highlights or dry brush on that bunker there. But I'd say I'm about 85% done right now. Like I said, my biggest thing right now to tackle is this guy here. Okay, guys, so we're getting to the end of this project, and before I finish it up, I just wanted to show you what I'm going to do here in the center for this river. I was thinking back to my playset days, and what did Marks always have was a playset mat. So I do like this cobblestone mat. However, they don't make a river that I know of, or any type of lake. They do make an ocean, but that didn't look accurate. So I said, let's keep it toyetic. I know you've heard me use that term before, toyetic. Basically what I mean is these are still toys. I don't paint them up. You know, I just keep them green and gray. Pretty simple. So I thought, let's do what Marks would do and make a playset mat just for our river. Let me show you how I did it. Okay, so check this out. This is just a simple maybe 1.5 hour project that I did today. I went to Michael's and I bought 2 poster boards, blue, as you can see. And all I did was measured 7 inches apart, which came out perfect. So I went 7, 14, 21, 28, and then painted my edges of the river brown. Put a little green in there, something Marks would have done from an aerial view looking down on bushes, I think. Put a little white streaks in there to show that the river's flowing. And then once I cut them, again, they're all exact sizes, but all I can do is just line them up and make it as long as I want or as short as I want. And again, cost me about $3 in poster board. The paint I already had. So again, toyetic, absolutely. Something Marks would have done with their playset mats. So I thought, why not just do that for this playset? And there you go, guys. 8 pieces of riverbed. And I know what you guys are saying. I should have made something out of resin and poured it. And I have all that stuff. I just didn't want to take the time. And again, I wanted to keep it a little toyetic. Nothing against those guys that want to make it look as real as possible. I understand. I'm just not one of those guys. I still like to look at this as a playset. So that's my river, and that's what I'm going with. Now, the only other items I added to this playset were these 2 MPC vintage tents. So these are pretty nice. I knew I had a lot of medical stuff. I bought a CTS red cross flag, so I'll be adding that. The tank drivers, I just cut in half and put them on top. So I'm about ready to set up. I did set up the fence after I finished painting it, and I put a little paint on the bridge as well as these pieces. Did a little weathering. Again, the BMC sandbags I think look great. And I made these little pieces only because I wanted some greenery in there. I thought, okay, this is a city. They probably got little green areas. And being in Germany, I thought, well, the evergreen trees be green all year round. So I just made these real simple. Made them out of foam. Put some static grass on there if you can see it. But other than that, I think we're ready to go to war. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoy this. So here's the scenario for today's battle. These Germans were taken prisoner earlier during the day. You can see the officers interrogating him. We have a photographer here documenting everything. And they said there is nothing left in the town, that the Americans could roll right in without any resistance. However, these Germans were captured later in the day on the front line. And they reported to these sergeants that there are actually several German tanks in town. So our tank battalion here is just waiting to cross. This guy has the message from the field. He's trying to get his motorcycle rider to get the information all the way over to headquarters to let him know about the tanks. Meanwhile, our Army Corps of Engineers here have built this bridge because the Germans have mined this bridge here. And they're working at night right now, cutting the wires, setting some charges, and getting out of there before dawn, before they blow the wire and send the tanks across this way. Now, unbeknownst to the officers, there are tanks in town. Matter of fact, the Germans have occupied all the buildings in town. An officer heading to the front gate, just making sure everything is secure. And of course, over here, well, they took some American prisoners, and they're interrogating them, trying to find out what the Americans' plans are. So we do have some hidden tanks in town that can't be seen. So we're going to see how this plays out in our photo story.